donghua begins with a house in the village. The house belongs to a family known as the best swordsman in the world. They are the Zheng family. The Zheng family will choose one best sons in each generation to be the successor. Meanwhile, another son who was not chosen will be sacrificed as a condition to make the best sword that will be used by the successor. This also happened to two brothers, Zheng Zhong and Zheng Jue. Zheng Zhong's sword skills were actually far superior to Zheng Jue's, but Zheng Zhong succumbed to Zheng Jue because he really loved his little brother. Vice versa with Zheng Jue, who also loves his brother, so he doesn't want Zheng Zhong to sacrifice for him. Therefore, Zheng Jue tried to thwart the sacrificial ritual Zheng Zhong was about to undergo. Several years later, it appears that Zhen Zhong has worked as a bodyguard for a deputy minister named Mr. He. In addition, he then carries the mandate as a teacher of Fangzhi, who is the son of Mr. He. Zhen Zhong's loyalty to Mr. He was unquestionable. He even promised to teach Fangzhi all his fighting skills. Apart from that, he was also determined to make Fangzhi an honorable and good man. Meanwhile, Mr. He is known as an official who is very fond of literature. Many people were amazed by the poems he issued. But behind his skill in composing poetry, he is not a good person at all. He once rejected a request for help from a community leader named Lin Wencheng, where Wencheng, at that time, prostrated himself in front of Mr. He while asking for help to help his people who were being hit by a disaster. Mr. He did not budge on Wencheng's request. As a result of his bad nature, disaster turned for Mr. He's family. This incident began with Mr. He, who was traveling out of town. At that time, Mr. He did not realize that he had actually been framed by Li, his servant, and she had plotted with Long Shun, an Iron Fist warrior, to kill Mr. He and all his guards. Besides the two, Monk Bu Ping, a member of the White Lotus sect, supported the assassination plan. They all planned to poison Mr. He and his bodyguard's food. Zhen Zhong, who was accompanying Fangzhi to practice, asked him to hide in a safe place. Apparently, Zhen Zhong realized that they were currently in the enemy's trap. Fangzhi rushes to find a safe place, while Zhen Zhong turns out to be preparing to fight with monks Bu Ping and Long Shun. Zhen Zhong, who was the #1 swordsman in the world, was stronger than Bu Ping and Long Shun. He could easily defeat them with his sword control skills, even though his energy was really drained at that time. Apparently, he had eaten the poisoned dish served by Li. Not long after, a Linqing Channel gang leader named Luo Tong appeared in the middle of their battle. He had no intention of fighting Zhen Zhong. He was just trying to explain to Zhen Zhong who Mr. He really was. Luo Tong then managed to convince Zhen Zhong to be able to give up Mr. He's life for the peace of the people in the country. Meanwhile, Mr. He, who had been cornered without any support from anyone, tried to save Fangzhi. He then lowered Fangzhi into a dry well to hide. But when Mr. He was lowering Fangzhi, suddenly, his body was pierced by a sword. Apparently, the sword belonged to Luo Tong. The young Fangzhi could only be confused. Moreover, Fangzhi witnessed his father being killed by Luo Tong with his own eyes. Luckily, Luo Tong, knowing Fangzhi's whereabouts, decided not to kill him and instead tried to cover up his whereabouts from his friends. Luo Tong left, leaving Fangzhi alone in the well. After Fangzhi was sure that everyone had left, he came out of the well with difficulty. He then began to walk through the cold night alone, hoping to find someone who could help him. On the other hand, Scarlet, who is Luo Tong's girlfriend, suddenly approached Luo Tong with an annoyed expression on her face. Scarlet then expressed her disappointment at his and his friend's actions. This is because they broke the agreement where their real target was only Mr. He. But what happened was just the opposite. The innocent soldiers also had to become victims in the mission. At the same time, Bu Ping suddenly remembered the figure of Fangzhi who had escaped their pursuit. He intends to return to the scene of the massacre of Mr. He and his soldiers and finish off Fangzhi. He was worried that Fangzhi would be a disaster for them in the future. Knowing Bu Ping's intentions, Scarlet and Luo Tong, who disagreed with him, then tried to stop him. But unfortunately, the two of them were not equal to Bu Ping and he managed to win the battle. Luckily, Fangzhi had already fled before being found by Bu Ping. Bu Ping was annoyed by this and took his anger out on Long Shun, saying that Fangzhi would become an obstacle for all of them. However, the dispute between Bu Ping and Long Shun did not last long because suddenly, a warrior appeared who warned Bu Ping to stop. 13 years later, Fangzhi is a young man with shoulder-length hair riding his horse in the middle of the desert. Now, Fangzhi had grown into a trained swordsman. He began to hunt for the killer who had taken the life of his father and his troops. Fangzhi's first targets were Li and Long Shun. But before he confronted the two of them, he had to face off against the thugs who were trying to get in his way and protect Li and Long Shun. However, those hoodlums could easily be defeated by Fangzhi. He was able to defeat them all in a short time. Fangzhi then rushed to chase Li, who was also trying to defend herself by sneaking attacks from the darkness. However, no matter how hard Li tried to attack him, in the end Fangzhi managed to defeat her. Fangzhi's next target was Long Xun. In contrast to Li, who seemed to be minimally prepared, Long Xun seemed to have prepared himself to fight with Fangzhi. Fangzhi looked overwhelmed and had to be thrown several times due to Long Xun's attacks. Long Xun's attack did not make Fangzhi give up until he could counterattack him. A sword was stuck in Long Xun's chest as a sign of his defeat.
杀你，我用不着费力气。这孩童约莫13、14岁。
Fangzhi's business was finished in the city. He then continued his journey on his horse to Donghua City. The target this time was Scarlet. On the way, Fangzhi seems to meet someone named Xue Wen. He was a swordsman. He told Fangzhi which direction to take to reach Donghua City. Fangzhi then followed Xue Wen's directions until he finally arrived at Donghua City. Fangzhi then immediately met Scarlet at her residence. The fight was back between Scarlet and Fangzhi, until finally, Fangzhi's sword hit Scarlet's face, which she had always protected. This makes Scarlet despair, and she chooses to take her own life. Before doing so, Scarlet informed Fangzhi that his next target was Luo Tong, who resided in Linqing Canal Alley.
有一半都在醉红楼上，替他们取点规矩。
As Fangzhi continued his journey, he met a little girl named Aya. Aya turned out to be a prisoner in Scarlet's residence. Aya wants to go on a trip with Fangzhi, and because of Aya's condition alone, Fangzhi allows her to go with him. That day, Luo Tong practiced swordsmanship when he received the news that Scarlet had passed away. Not long after, Fangzhi arrived at Luo Tong's residence. Luo Tong, who didn't expect to be approached by Fangzhi, looked very surprised. Fights are inevitable between the two. Luo Tong was indeed famous for his sword skills, but his physique was not the same as before, so it was quite easy for Fangzhi to defeat him. Luo Tong and Zhen Zhang Ho seemed to be running away, but they were caught up by Fangzhi. He was forced to return to face him. However, when Luo Tong was under Fangzhi's control, he did not kill him. Luo Tong then told Fangzhi about the incident 13 years ago, where he remembered his newborn child when he saw little Fangzhi, and that was why he didn't kill him. Luo Tong then regretted what had happened because he had created a disaster. He then allowed Fangzhi to kill him. However, Fangzhi refused and instead asked him for directions which direction he should take next. Luo Tong then gave him a poem with the word White Lotus in it, but Fangzhi didn't seem to understand the rhyme's meaning. Luo Tong then advised Fangzhi to free himself from his grudge. Fangzhi then explained the pain where he had no mother since his childhood while his father and the rest of his family were slaughtered. Fangzhi felt he had to take revenge to continue his life in peace. He then continued his journey, but before that, he gave a sword called Feather to Aya. He asked Aya to bring and guard the sword. As he continued his journey, Fangzhi thought about the meaning of the poem Luo Tong was referring to. Unexpectedly, he met Xue Wen again. Fangzhi did not waste the opportunity to ask the meaning of the rhyme mentioned by Luo Tong. Based on Xue Wen's answer, Luo Tong's clue led to a sect called the White Lotus. Without waiting any longer, he immediately mounted his horse and followed Xue Wen's instructions. Xue Wen, who knew the purpose of Fangzhi's trip, then suggested the same thing as Luo Tong said, that he must let go of his grudge to not be burdened. However, Fangzhi's answer was still the same. He thought that at least he should uphold justice for what happened. The Lotus sect is led by a woman named Yao Mei. Bu Ping, who knew about Fangzhi's retaliation plan, seemed worried and annoyed. He openly blamed Yao Mei for this incident. He thought that if they had managed to kill Fangzhi in the past, then there would not be his revenge incident like this. Bu Ping, who couldn't contain his anger, suddenly vented it on Yao Mei. But the fight didn't last long because they realized it wouldn't solve anything. Meanwhile, on the way to the White Lotus sect, Fangzhi accidentally meets an old monk who tries to warn him to stop his revenge. Fangzhi, who felt challenged, tried to test the monk's strength using a bamboo stick. They both then threw attacks at each other. At first, Fangzhi was constantly under pressure from the monk, but slowly the situation began to change as he slowly got used to the monk's attack patterns. The monk's attack made him let Fangzhi continue his journey. The monk thought Fangzhi had enough ability to do his bidding. Fangzhi and Aya continued their journey until they met the monk Bu Ping, who was already preparing to welcome Fangzhi's arrival. Without waiting any longer, Fangzhi immediately took the opportunity to vent his revenge. Even so, Bu Ping and his 4 subordinates were indeed quite difficult to conquer. Moreover, the attack formation they used did not give Fangzhi a chance to counterattack at all. Fangzhi kept trying to survive until, at one point, he managed to find a gap in the enemy formation. Fangzhi immediately took advantage of this and used the loophole to turn things around. In the end, Fangzhi managed to crush Bu Ping and his men. But Bu Ping's death wasn't the only reason Fangzhi came to the White Lotus sect. Apparently, he also intends to finish off Yao Mei, who is the head of the White Lotus sect. Fangzhi, who had been enveloped with anger, immediately beat Yao Mei with deadly attacks. Until slowly, Yao Mei was increasingly cornered by him, and unexpectedly, she actually ended up dead, not because of Fangzhi's direct attack but because she was trying to protect Aya from Fangzhi's misattack. Actually, Yao Mei was already prepared to sacrifice herself because she thought that was the only way Fangzhi's desire for revenge could be satisfied. But unfortunately, even Yao Mei's death would not be the end of Fangzhi's revenge, because Fangzhi had sworn he would never stop before he killed the mastermind who had planned to kill his father. Fangzhi then approached Wen Cheng. During the reign of Fangzhi's father, Wen Cheng was the imperial ambassador who also served the imperial government. However, after being interrogated, Wen Cheng turned out to be the mastermind of his father's and his troops' massacre. Wen Cheng then explained that he did not intend to kill Mr. He's entire family and bodyguards. Therefore, he was willing to lay down his life for Fangzhi. But surprisingly, when he was about to swing his sword at Wen Cheng, Fangzhi was suddenly stopped by Zhen Dao Ge. Fangzhi, who felt betrayed, then turned to attack. He attacked blindly, and several attacks could bring down the former best swordsman. The few attacks that Fangzhi launched could hit Zhen Dao Ge hard. However, Zhen Dao Ge tried to explain the reasons for his side and why he was defending Wen Cheng. According to him, Wen Cheng was trying to defend the rights of his people, and he was trying to stop Mr. He, who used his power to embezzle aid that was actually intended for flood victims. As a result of his actions, thousands of lives were lost at that time. Zhen Dao Ge's explanation was not enough to stop Fangzhi from taking revenge on his family. Fangzhi turned to Wen Cheng and killed him right then and there. But before Wen Cheng breathed his last, he told Fangzhi that Fangzhi's journey so far was actually provoked by a party that wanted him to die. Wen Cheng already knew this, but he chose to remain silent. He thought it would be useless to explain this to people who were blinded by revenge. Wen Cheng's words made Fangzhi realize that what he said was true. Wen Cheng then ordered Fangzhi to return to Zhu country and live a peaceful life. Sometime later, Zheng Zhang and Luo Tong visited Mr. He's grave. There he told everything that happened to Fangzhi. He then apologized to Mr. He for all the wrong he had ever done to him. In the past, he thought, by betraying Mr. He, peace would return to their country. Now he realized that he had been wrong all along. What happened was the opposite. Sadness and regret were really thick, and so was Luo Tong. That night, the two of them gathered together with Bu Ping, who was still alive. He expressed regret over his decision 13 years ago. He didn't expect Fangzhi to be entangled so deep in this pit of revenge. The moral message that can be learned is that revenge will not bring peace but will lead us to fall further into regret.